Hi, this is Bird from Birds SVGs, and in this video we'll be putting together the Bird Cage Luminary, and that's from the Love Birds SVG collection. Now, you can't very well see the birds inside the bird cage until the light comes on, and it's like, no, you see me, no, you don't. So there they are. As soon as the light comes on, you can clearly see the two little lovebirds sat on the perch together. Okay, so we're going to put the plinth together. That's what the bird cage is going to sit on top of. When you fold these pieces to form the outside of the plinth, the top score line is a mountain fold, then the next one's a valley fold, then you've got two mountain folds. So it's a mountain, valley, mountain, mountain as you go down. So you're going to fold all four pieces in exactly the same way. And then what we're going to do once we've got those folded is we're going to put our little pattern paper pieces into place. Now we've only got pattern paper for the bottom two pieces because the bottom two panels, the top panel is actually going to be covered up when the bird cage is in place. So you've got four rectangular pieces, and they go along the bottom panel. And then you've got these pieces with the kind of mitered edges, and they go just above. Now the pattern paper I was using has got this kind of random rose pattern on it, so I wasn't really paying much attention to what pieces were supposed to go next to each other, because the pattern was so random that it wasn't really noticeable. So I'm just going to carry on adding a little bit of glue to each of these pieces. Like I say, you want to be adding them to the bottom two panels on each side. And then once we've got those in place, we'll then add the pieces together to form the sides of our plinth. Here's the last piece, just going into place. So we want to alternate our pieces, short piece, long piece, short piece, long piece, to make the rectangle. So we'll be starting with the bottom tab first of all, just making sure that's on a 90-degree angle so it all goes together properly. So you want to add your you want to add two pieces, so you don't want to add the bottom tabs on all four pieces together and then work on the second tab. You want to work on each join all the way up as you go. So add glue to the first tab, make sure that's taken, then add glue to the second tab, make sure that's taken, and then to the top tab. And then move on to adding the next piece on. Okay, so we're on to the next piece. Add glue onto the bottom tab. If it's easier to flip it over and push down onto your desk, you know, sometimes that's easier. And then adding glue to the next tab. That one's a little bit trickier because it's kind of on a diagonal. And then the top tab. And then here's our last side. Now, I think this luminary has got loads of uses, because if you're someone like me that likes birds, I think it'd be great. I mean, I can't stop playing with this thing. I just love that kind of reveal you get when you pop your, because I've got a remote controlled light in there. So I'm having endless amounts of fun. I keep clicking it on and off and get the reveal of the birds inside. But I think also being lovebirds, there's two birds kind of, you know, on the perch together. I think it would be great for anything from Valentine's Day through to, you know, engagements, anniversaries, weddings. I think you know, you could use this for an awful lot of occasions or events. Okay, I'm just adding some glue onto my last tab. I'm ready to put the top on and the bottom. Just adding glue to all of those. Once you've got glue on all the tabs, you just want to pop your top into place. And to make sure all of your corners are all lined up. And then I've added some pressure from underneath, because you can get to the underneath from this side. It won't be quite so easy for the bottom. That's why I put the top piece in place first. So, you know, it's an idea to leave the bottom till the end. But it did actually take very well. It wasn't an issue. You don't really need to be able to get in there to push down on the tabs. Okay, that's your plinth done. Okay, this is the little ring to go on the top of your bird cage. Now you've got a little score line at the bottom of the circle. So you want to fold along those and then just add glue to the kind of donut area. And then glue the two pieces together. And then I've set them aside. I want them to kind of dry and harden, you know, the way that glue does. And then I'm going to start putting my bird cage together, and then it goes on like almost last. So I've got my side pieces here, and I've folded along my score lines, and I'm just showing you my vellum there. I've got some vellum that's got kind of like little iridescent pieces in it, suspended inside the vellum, which I thought would be really great for this this kind of style that I was going for with this collection. But I reckon it would be great if you used coloured vellum too. If you have any kind of pale pink or something like that, it would also work great. Now I've added glue to each of these kind of bars along the windows of my base here. If you don't have a precision tip, it's going to be a little bit trickier for you. But I would say just run your glue around all the thicker areas, all the wider areas, and then just add a few dots maybe to those bars, because it adds some strength to the sides of your luminary and kind of stops it from bowing. Okay, so I want to add a little bit of curve to the tops of my sides here, just to get it starting to go in the direction that I'll need it to go when I'm putting my front and back into place. So I'm just rolling it around my glue, but you could, if you wanted it kind of a tighter circle, you could roll it around a pen or something. And this is my roof, and I'm also going to do the same with that. I'm folding all of my teeth to get them used to folding, and I'm folded along the score lines. And then I'll wrap that around my glue bottle as well to get it kind of started off curving. Okay, so this forms a channel that will go from the side all the way up over the top and down the other side. So I'm just going to connect all of these pieces together to begin with. So you want the tabs on the sides to go underneath your roof panel. There, you've got one long channel now. So I'm just folding along all the score lines and kind of getting it in the kind of general shape that I'll need it to be. So here I've got either the front or back of my luminary. First of all, I'm going to add glue to the two long side tabs. So I'm just going to kind of get it kind of anchored into place. I'm just adding a little bit of pressure, making sure those side tabs are nicely glued down. And then I'm just getting some scrap paper up, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to all of these pieces, all of these tabs and teeth along that form the side curves on the top. And then I'm just going to slide it underneath the front of my bird cage there, and I'm going to add some pressure. And then if there's any that didn't quite take, I'm just adding some glue to those. Now when I did the other side, I did actually find that doing that whole top section in one go was a little bit tricky, so I broke it down into kind of 3 sections. So the 2 corners, the 2 kind of like shoulders, and then the roof piece separately. And I did find that that actually worked quite well. So you might want to do that. Okay, so before I flip it over and I add the other side on, I thought I'd take advantage of the situation and add my vellum panel in now, while I can get in there and add my glue in. Again, because I've got a precision tip, I added glue down each of the bars. Now that makes your bird cage kind of a bit sturdier, and it stays in shape nicer. If you don't have a precision tip, don't worry, add a few dots here and there and it will be fine. As long as you go around the perimeter. So I'm just pressing and smoothing my vellum into place. And then I'll flip it over and I'll add my other side in. I'm just making sure all my teeth are nicely folded over. And then again, I'll start by adding glue to the long side tabs. Just making sure I've got my textured side on the outside. I'll add some glue to the other side tab here. Once those side tabs are in place, it's a lot easier to handle. It just pulls it all together. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add glue to one corner, then the other corner, and then the roof separately, and that makes it an awful lot easier putting it together. It's a bit more controlled than just adding glue to the whole top. If you feel brave, add glue to the whole top, and you know, it will go in place. You push in from the outside and push down from the hand that's on the inside. Okay, I'm adding the glue to the inside of this panel to add my vellum. Curving my vellum a little bit when I put it in to make sure that it doesn't touch on the way in, and then it just flips open. You just add some pressure to smooth it into place and it's fine. Okay, so we're going to put our outside layers onto our bird cage now. Adding the glue onto these is quite easy if you follow the lines all the way up, because they're the same. So I'm just adding a light layer of glue all the way over. I don't want to add too much because I don't want it puckering or anything like that, so I'm just adding a very light layer all the way over. Then I'm just going to line that up with the base card layer. I didn't manage to get it exactly, but I don't think it matters. I chose a card, I chose white because it was the pattern paper I was using was very pale, so it doesn't even matter that you can slightly see the white on the edges of some of those bars there. Okay, now you've got these little corners that just have these rectangle pieces of pattern paper, so they're nice and easy to pop into place. And then we'll deal with our curved pieces. Sorry, I keep going off camera there. Okay, so we're going to put our top panel into place first. Now you'll see that the little slot that's been taken out there for our little hangy ring to go in, you need to make sure that that's going in the right direction for when you curve your paper. So I'm adding just a light layer of glue all over this panel. Try not to add too much in any one place. But what I found with putting this into place is that it's best if you line the slot up and then smooth the rest of it over. In one of the prototypes, I added the glue on one side first of all, but then when I tried to smooth it over to the other side was off by a couple of mil. So if you line up the slot, then the rest of it should actually smooth into place nice and easily. Okay, so I'm putting my side panels on. I've curved them slightly with the with my glue bottle there. I just curved them, but if you wanted a bit more of a curve, you know, put it around a pen. And then I'm starting at the bottom, getting my bars in place. And then I'm adding some pressure from inside of the bird cage. And then for the top edge there, that curved piece, I'm just smoothing it into place as best I can. So once you've got your sides into place, we're now going to put our last finishing touches in. So I'm popping my ring into the slot at the top. And then you've kind of got almost like a split pin, almost like a brad in there. So you want to add glue to the outside two edges and then split them open and push them against the roof. Now this is the kind of placement that you want for your birds on the inside. So you want it to be symmetrical, so you want it to be right in the middle. So that way your birds actually peer out of the middle window. So you want to add 2 little dabs of glue to the very top 2 little tabs there. You want to slide it in and then make sure that it's central to the bird cage so your birds will be nice and lined up in the middle window. And then the last thing you want to do is you want to add 2 little touches of glue just underneath where the wings cross over those wider panels. So just 2 tiny, tiny pieces of glue just to hold the birds against the window. So you've got 1 on each side. Now you don't want to glue the whole bird section down on the inside of your luminaire, otherwise they won't look as though they're kind of further back into the cage. But that's it, that's your luminary complete. And I hope that if you have an event that your guests really enjoy it, or if you make it as a gift for someone that they really enjoy receiving it. And I'm sure you'll have hours of fun clicking that light on and off and getting that surprising reveal if there's actually something inside.